What up, y'all? We back. This is the Get the Goods podcast. We got Josh in here. We got Jamel in here.
Yes, sir.
We got Erica in here. We at Archive South Studios. And look, man, it's the end of the year.
Yes, sir.
It's the end of the year. It's
Yes,
December.
Ooh,
You
we
know,
made it.
we push.
Look
Look,
at your neighbor say we made it.
We made it.
Hey.
A lot of retroactive. You know what I'm saying?
look, it's really good. Erica's back in town. Good to have
I'm
you back.
back.
We
Thank
missed
you.
you.
Yeah, you was
Look,
touring the
I was
globe.
out.
You was
I was
out.
out, but I'm back now.
Okay,
back
we're going to get into that
for
in a minute. Well, look, this is the Get the Good podcast. We want to let everybody know, okay? We are going to do our absolute best to provide the most accurate and up-to-date information that we can when it comes to political occurrences and cultural events.
Especially Erica.
What we will say is we're not perfect.
Erica is.
Why do you say this? I do.
The only one here that's perfect is Erica. Hold her to your highest standard.
Please do.
If she says anything wrong, cancel her immediately.
Yeah, she can take the pressure.
Don't
She can
cancel
take
me.
it.
Hold
Yes,
me
sir.
accountable lovingly.
Hold her accountable. Look, we're going to do our absolute best to give y'all the most accurate information that we can. And as our education grows, as our experience grows, as our relationships grow, our politics may shift somewhat to where we learn more and we have new information. So we just want to let people know that in case people think that we got all the answers. We
Yes,
do
sir.
not. But
Yeah.
we are looking to grow and learn. And we actually may have some of the answers too.
No, for sure.
So
Some
we're going
of
to give
them
you
we
some
do
of
got.
them.
Yeah.
But the ones that we don't have, please give us grace. And also just know that we are coming with the utmost intentions to give y'all some real good information because there's a lot of misinformation out there.
Man, that's a whole lot of
And
We
there's a
don't
lot
want
of
that
people
to be
talking
us.
about nothing.
Nah,
So
for real.
we want to try to give y'all the best information we can.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, let's jump right into it. We're going to get into the news.
So I had a few things I needed to cover.
Okay.
Do we have some retractions?
Yeah, I have
yeah.
some
Come on.
We got some retractions.
Yeah,
Here
come
we
on.
go.
Retract.
From the
Redact.
journalist herself.
Let's go.
Yeah. So one journalist. Thank you.
The country's
I,
top.
I mistakenly said that Russell Wilson, Sierra's husband, played for the Broncos. That was his old team. Now he plays for the Steelers, and they have a winning record. I feel like they're 8-2 last
So you're
time I
still
checked.
Do you have a source for that 8-2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ESPN.
Oh,
But
was
I
it?
don't know if they won
A
today.
lot of scrambling on the phone.
I don't know if that counts. You got to look at the source after you say
No,
it.
it does.
Because you
count.
already said it.
does
No
count.
notes? You don't have any notes?
I have notes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the other thing is, shout out to Russell Wilson
Okay.
for being on the winning team.
Yep.
I hope they keep going, keep winning. And then my other piece of news before I pass it to y'all, just while we're in the sports world, is that UT did make the playoffs. Go Vols. And so we'll be playing Ohio State. That is also confirmed from ESPN.
Insert booze and post.
What? No, we're going to win. And by the next time we get on here, y'all be like, UT won, the Volunteers did their thing. Thank you. The University of Tennessee.
Is that
That's
the
the only UT.
That's all the redactions you have?
Yeah, that's my only retraction, I believe.
That you don't have no
Did
more?
you just say that's the only UT?
Yeah, because University of Texas try to say they're UT, but they're not. It's us.
It's like Texas State be trying to claim.
Yeah, they
TSU,
be trying.
but
It's like, no.
We've been here since 1912.
Exactly.
real.
Thank you.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
So, any other retractions?
I ain't got none because I've been a perfect journalist to this point. All of my things. been
Right
square
on all
on.
my predictions. Yeah.
Been square.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
square, 90-degree angled.
Fair. I
Yeah.
believe that's my only one.
Yeah. Do you want to lead us into the news? What you been paying attention to?
I see a squint. I see a squint.
So, my news is that Dollar General closed their store in Napier, in the Napier community in
Okay.
Nashville, which is a big issue because now it's a place where people don't have access to food and toiletries and things like that.
For sure.
If you don't have a card, then it's very difficult. So that was a place where people used to walk to, and so community members and the council member out there, Terry Vo, has been working to try to figure out how they get a grocery store in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a really big deal, especially in the holidays. People were let go. They lost their job at Dollar General. And then Dollar General was basically like, we made an assessment and decided to close our store, which is, of course, unfortunate. And so now I'm thinking about how do we, what type of cooperatives can we exist?
Right.
Can we lift up a cooperative as a way to address those issues in Napier? But yeah, that's my news. It's unfortunate, especially right now during the holidays and as folks go into 2025.
Yeah.
So I think, again, we said this in November, and it's been a thing for the whole year, but it's our opportunity to really lean into community and put our minds and hearts together to come up with a solid solution.
Did they offer any insight into why? I know you said they made an assessment. Did they offer any insight into what that assessment was? I'm just curious.
They did not say, but I will say in the news story, folks were talking about the police have been called at least 17 times
Okay.
about like theft, and so I don't know if that has something to do with it. But at the same time, you know, I'm thinking about how do we support people in our community, make sure they have what they need and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the other thing though is that when we talked about restorative justice,
Yep.
especially when we were at our convening in November, and at the PMA in October, folks are really talking about how do we get businesses and community members engaged to come up with a restorative process, and a process so where if folks, you know, experience something like that, the police aren't called, but we can engage in some accountability process, but also people have what they need, and so
Right.
those things aren't happening if they are happening.
Right. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. What's your news?
So my news is very complicated, right? And so my news really settles on TSU, but it's three things I want to ground this in before I actually say what I want to say. It's
Do
first,
we need to say a prayer for TSU real quick?
man, listen, we might
Come
need
on.
to say a prayer for all the
Let's
people
pray.
that are involved.
Yes.
Let me get a B flat.
Come on,
Go ahead. Who gonna pray?
Erica, you want to go and run them down?
God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, my God who has brought us thus far.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes. Please bless TSU and the students and all those involved. We believe that you're a miracle worker, and that is exactly what we need. Amen.
Amen. So I want to
That's
grab.
it. Wait. What are we praying for?
What are we praying for?
You just
For
said
TSU.
TSU and everyone involved.
Yeah, the students. It's all kind of administration over admins over there.
I
It's a
need
lot.
more specificity in my prayer.
Well, we need actually. God hears our hearts,
Okay.
and God knows more than I know what's going on.
God knows my intention.
Exactly.
So three things I want to ground us on, right? In 1971, TSU wins a lawsuit against the University of Tennessee, Nashville, claiming that there cannot be two publicly funded schools within that close of a
I
distance.
believe the
between each
lead
other.
lawyer there was Rita Grier.
You have a source?
Yeah, she was. She worked at the University of Tennessee while I was there, and somebody that I spoke to about going to law school.
There we go.
Good job. Which is why TSU has a downtown campus called Avon Williams.
Yes.
Right, because they used to be the former University of Tennessee, Nashville. Okay. Won that lawsuit. Okay. So Tennessee State University gets bigger. All right. There's another fact that we got to ground ourselves in. In February of 2021, the then President Glover accepted a board position at Core Civic.
Okay, I
Yeah,
remember
Okay. Former CCA. Right.
Which stood for what?
Correctional
Corrections Corporation of America.
of America, private prisons.
Yes.
All right. Within 24 hours, she rescinds that invitation
that
after
because
accepting.
of what
Why?
students, alumni, right,
got
and
caught.
say, yeah, we can't do that. Yeah.
She got caught, and she tried to claim that the $200,000 that she was going to make annually was going to be donated to the school, which is why she chose it. Also, which makes this also insidious, is that Tennessee State University relies in the zip code with the highest incarceration rate in the country. So CCA, Core Civic, has made a boatload of money arresting folks in the
well,
district.
imprisoning people.
Right, imprisoning them, putting them in cages in the literal space that TSU is in.
Okay.
And then thirdly, right, they have been consistently talking about bringing a professional baseball team to Nashville. In the spot that they continuously frame up as the place for the new stadium is the swampland that allowed Tennessee State University to keep their land grant moniker, which keeps their state funding.
Okay.
Okay? So those are the three things that we need to ground ourselves in.
Okay.
Okay, so recently there's been a lot of activity around the $2 billion that the state owes TSU. There's been a lot of activity around there, right? Ever since the President Glover has left, there also has been a lot of activity around the audit that the Tennessee State University, or the state has revealed that Tennessee State University's finances. A couple things have happened. One, what they found is that Tennessee State University and their administration, under the former President Glover, took one-time COVID funds and gave scholarships out using those one-time COVID funds, which then locked the university into debt. Okay? Second thing that happened is this previous semester, the student body shrunk by 25%. So two things have happened. There was an overcommit of scholarships using
Right.
one-time resources.
Right.
Then that student body shrunk, which caused the school to not only absorb the scholarships in debt from the folks who receive scholarships using the one-time funding, but also the revenue of the overall school shrunk because the student body shrunk.
Okay, I'm following.
Right, which led to an increasingly amount of layoffs happening at Tennessee State University.
Under the new president.
Under the new president,
Okay.
President Johnson, the interim president.
Okay.
The other thing that happened is what was revealed in that mess was that President Glover signed a severance package worth $1.7 million that she had already collected $500 million
for herself.
for herself.
Yeah.
So she had stuff like a parking space, a personal assistant.
Mm-hmm.
She also signed on to help the school fundraise, right? But then the board, which is the newly created board, actually voted to rescind her severance package because the school doesn't have enough money to make payroll.
Right.
Right.
So now,
And we know folks working at TSU,
for sure.
and they using the language, it's a bloodbath.
Right.
Up there. They cutting every position that they can cut, they cutting. They lay them off.
So the state of Tennessee gave TSU a $40 million advance to cover their finances to the end of the year.
Okay.
Okay, so there's several things going on, right? And the reason why this is such a difficult issue is because we'll have to hold multiple things at one time, right? One, the state owes Tennessee State University $2 billion from
Absolutely.
underfunding them from years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Two, the previous administration under former President Glover used one-time COVID funds to overextend and commit resources to students that we don't have reoccurring dollars for.
Right. Which at the same, and I mean, I understand the heart of it, right? It's like we want students to come here. And what we've always known about TSU, which I appreciate about it being from Nashville, is that like it's a home for people who, it's a prestigious school, right? And it's a home for, especially black students who want a place to go to school and thrive. And so maybe if, Belmont, UT not rocking with you, you got a place at TSU.
Right.
And I think there's something beautiful about that. And I don't want us to lose that. And so I'm recognizing how complicated it is to overextend and be like, here's some scholarships for people who maybe didn't have money for school.
I want to add some nuance.
Okay.
I got one. I got
Add the nuance.
two.
She ran the institution into the ground. I'm just keep it 100. What people are saying is there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of things going on the legal side where people are being terminated, where folks are being requested to break federal laws in order to cook the books. There's a lot of things going on. So maybe I could reframe it better.
Go off.
For your,
I have no thoughts. I'm not
gonna say the language. I'm not gonna use the language I was about to use. I know you got the colors on today.
Stop.
This is what I'm saying.
Yourself.
She said boundary.
Stop. No.
This is where the disclaimer
because
comes
I'm
into play.
also
I don't like it. I don't like
hear
it.
what you're saying.
I'm mad about it. I went to TSU.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
my school.
Okay.
Yeah, not for real.
So I'm like, it's messed up that she in there talking about, okay, after I leave, I need $800,000 and I don't work here no more.
That's the severance.
That's
That's the
foul.
severance package. That's the cash.
That's foul.
I have
That's
a
the
question.
cash.
I'm just asking questions, curiosities.
Come on.
Is this industry standard? Do other presidents
Does it
lead in
matter
that
if it's
same
industry
manner?
standard, if it's corrupt?
Hold on.
No, well,
I will answer that question.
It's not corrupt if other people are like, if other institutions are like, hey, no, let me listen. Let me finish. Because you have to have a transition
Ride
plan.
for 'em.
I'm not riding for nobody.
Shorty wanna
I'm
ride
just-
with me.
I'm not riding.
Baby, hey,
I'm
low.
asking
Blood
questions.
in, blood out.
I'm asking questions.
I rock with it
I'm asking
though.
questions.
Come on.
I'm
Can I ask you a
asking
question?
questions.
Can I ask you a
okay?
Is she a member of an organization?
Did she go to TSU?
I
Is
don't
she a
want no
member?
smoke.
I appreciate your dedication and
I don't
commitment to
want no
TSU. My main thing, I'm just asking questions. I'm not saying anything's right or wrong, but I think
I am.
I want to be curious.
Yeah. So I will say one thing that's not industry standard. Can I give you an example?
Let me tell you what's not industry standard.
Can I give you an example?
Okay.
Niggas
come on.
living in motels when they're supposed to have houses.
What about the
so can
housing
I-
crisis and displacement? Because also our
housing
analysis-
crisis on
hold
campus?
on, let me finish.
I tried
The
to-
analysis
I tried
that
to
we
answer your
had,
question.
the analysis we had when it happened was that the issue that's going on in Nashville is that gentrification displacement is happening.
That's real.
So there was less housing for people who would usually live off campus. So that's why it was so many
that's-
people living on campus.
That's true, too, though.
Actually, that's true.
That's true.
That was our analysis.
That's true. That's
and I
from-
can see we
it was
can
a Brookings
add to
report,
that
too, that
analysis,
said-
I
but
think
also
it's
we know
more
that to be
nuanced
true.
than that.
Okay.
Well, let let me give you one industry standard, please, if I
Okay.
can rewind.
Please do,
Come
brother.
on, industry
Okay,
standard.
so
My TSU brother.
let's do Jackson State University.
Come on, Eastwood.
Okay, so Jackson State University took their one-time COVID dollars and rebuilt some facilities on campus. They remodeled facilities. So other HBCUs took their one-time COVID dollars to pay for one-time expenses. Other HBCUs didn't give out scholarships. So that was the mistake.
What was the reason for giving out scholarships?
Increase enrollment. But the issue also there was folks weren't coming back. So what's the start
That's
with
what I'm
R?
saying.
What's the word called?
Retention.
The retention rate was bad.
That's what I'm saying.
So we got the enrollment rate up, and then the retention rate is at the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying.
And the graduation rate even lower.
Right.
So it's like it doesn't actually solve. It's not radical.
And
it
this
doesn't
is-
get to the root of the problem.
It doesn't. And I also want to say, it's not only the accountability isn't only rest inside of the administration at the time, but it also rests inside of the board that governed the school. So that's why the board was broken up, as well as the president resigned. For that fact. But then if we bring it forward even further, right? Former city council member Tanaka Vircher, who was also finance director at the school, is also suing the school now, right? For false, like being fired under false pretenses.
I saw that. Yeah.
Type of deal. So there's a lot of things happening at Tennessee State University, and there's a lot of truths to be held at one time.
Basically, what Tanaka Vircher is saying is they asked her to cook the books.
Right.
They asked her to say that something was happening with the numbers that wasn't actually happening, and they was just gonna roll it over to the next year. And she refused to do it because she said that's breaking the federal law.
So what to be clear is
Cooking the books around what?
Can I explain it? Enrollment. So
Saying what about enrollment?
They were asking her. So in order to get certain pieces of financial aid, they have to verify your student transcript and things like that. What high school you went to, things like that. Students hadn't been verified.
It's in the article.
Yeah,
I got a source.
Students hadn't
Keep
been.
going. I have a lot of thoughts here.
Students hadn't been verified, and so they was asking her to just verify them automatically. And she said that she would not
Verify
do
them
that.
automatically to get them into school so they could be
Yes.
students.
Yes.
And
Because you have to
because of how difficult it is for some students to even get the FAFSA, even get their transcript.
agree.
No.
I'm just naming because
No,
I've been through
I
the
agree with
process
that.
with students,
No,
and
no,
it
I
is
agree with
very,
that.
very
But
difficult.
you have to prove
I
that
agree
they
with that.
graduated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
But you
yeah.
still gotta have proof that
Okay,
they graduated.
fair, okay.
So I'm saying this is what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying we gotta hold. This is why the TSU thing
Let's
is so
hold
complicated.
multiple.
I'm
You gotta
so
hold a lot
curious.
of
I'm
truth.
so
At the end of the
curious as to
day-
what a UT alum has to say about the TSU debacle.
Ooh,
Please
that's
continue.
real.
That's what I'm saying. What I am trying to name and what I really want to lift up
What
is
you
that
naming?
we cannot divorce the circumstance that TSU is in from white supremacy, the way that anti-black racism and how people sometimes try to address it through norms or tactics
Or doing deals with
that
CCA?
may not be beneficial. That is wild, right? That's
Yeah,
wild.
that's
And she
pretty
stepped
crazy.
down after being called out at that. And what
Pretty
I'm
wild.
I don't
She did not step
like-
down after being called out.
No.
I thought
She
she
just
did.
left the
No.
board of
No,
directors.
no.
She just stepped
No,
down
I'm
from
saying she
being
left the board of
president.
directors, right?
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
After that, yes, but not because of that. No.
No,
She got caught. That was like a year or more before.
Yeah, she
that.
had already been serving as the board of on the board of directors before the press release.
Exactly. So what I'm saying though, but after people called her in on
Oh,
it,
you
then
saying
she
the
stepped
board,
down.
not the presidency?
I'm saying the
Oh,
board
gotcha.
of
Okay,
directors.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
the
I
board
got
of directors. That's what I want to be clear about. What I also want to be clear about is that like this is not me trying to cape or take up for anybody.
Cover.
All I'm just saying
Protect?
is protect. That's not what I'm trying to do.
Cheer on?
What I am trying to do is
Prevent accountability.
no, but I think as like people who are committed to,
I agree.
transformation
I agree.
and understanding systems and unpacking systems and recognizing harmful systems and building up new systems, that we have to be clear on how it impacts people's decisions too.
totally
That's our
agree.
work.
I totally
right?
agree.
I feel like that's our work.
I totally
and so
agree.
that's all I'm naming. That's all I'm saying.
How does that apply to this?
Because
If somebody trying to pad their pockets and uses students' poverty, misfortune, and bad administrative tasks to do so, is that cool?
So what I'm talking about is like how folks were like, oh, well, what do we do about students' transcripts? What do we do about letting too many students in with scholarships with a one-time COVID funds? Those are the things that I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
As a person who went to TSU, right, and remember being on campus with folks that were coming.
Don't fold your arms
No,
at me.
I'm saying because TSU took a chance on a lot of people when a lot of folks said no. I'm just saying.
Can I explain?
That's the truth. It's a lot of
That's
really,
not what we have an issue
No,
I'm about
but
to
it's
speak to that,
people who
too.
got scholarships when other people would not give them
Totally agree.
scholarships.
Totally agree.
People who got let in when they did not have the GPA or the SAT score when other schools said no.
Totally agree.
And I'm saying,
Totally agree.
That's all I'm saying.
Totally agree. And people took chances on students, right? And as a person who really works for young people, we as adults who are supporting young people should be detail oriented, right?
Absolutely.
Somebody failed the students in not making sure that their stuff was verified.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the students' fault.
Okay,
That is
yeah,
the
I'm not saying
failure
that.
of the internal mechanisms at Tennessee State University. Now, does that excuse the state from stealing $2 billion from them?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But we have to be able to hold multiple truths at the same time. Yes, this product of Tennessee State University is happening in the midst where the community around it is also being gentrified. Yes, right? We understand that,
Yeah.
right? And we
And
understand
huge displacement and rent is skyrocketing.
absolutely all of that.
Rent skyrocketing shouldn't have nothing to do with whether or not I get to go to school.
That's not no. He was talking about housing, right?
I understand that, but we
impacted
talking about
housing.
people that was in dorms.
Yeah.
So rent skyrocketing.
No, hold on. Can I paint the picture?
Okay. Yeah, come
what
on.
happened was you account for so many people getting dorm rooms, right?
Right.
So you probably what happens is most of the people who get dorms are probably like freshmen and sophomores.
Okay.
And usually, right, juniors, seniors live off campus.
That's
But-
not how TSU.
Well, when I was rocking with people at TSU, that was what was going on. But I don't know. Y'all tell
What is
y'all story.
rocking with me?
Yeah, what was you doing?
Anyways.
Could this be language for dating?
That's not what I said. I had a lot of friends.
Because now we have a news story. Breaking news.
But I wanted to say that about
That's what
TSU.
I'm
You know,
saying.
yeah.
People who otherwise, a percentage of students who would otherwise live off campus could not live off campus
Understand
because
that.
it was unaffordable to do so.
For
And so
sure.
you had an influx of people living on campus and you did not have the spaces for them.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
And this is a complex topic.
It's
I'm
a
going to let
complex
Jamel
topic.
wrap this up because we've been
Yeah,
here
my
for a
bad.
minute.
We've been here
but-
for a minute.
Yeah.
Obviously,
for sure.
lots of
But-
feelings.
But this is
and
also
all of us want the best
but-
for TSU.
Everybody wants the best for
sure.
TSU and the students. But this is the complicated piece of this whole entire story. The last thing I'm gonna say to wrap this up: have you noticed that I have not talking about student effort on the ground? Have you noticed that I have not mentioned
That's real.
any reporting about students activating around any of this?
That's
and that
real.
has been the missing piece from this whole predicament. When
Yeah.
the students decide what they want and that they're ready to get active on it, all these issues will solve. I think the conundrum that we have to think through, where the real analysis lies, is where have the students been this entire time?
That's a good question.
And where has the masses of students, what are the masses of the students at campus thinking? Because we know from historical examples in the 90s, they experienced the same thing. And the students brought home the check,
Yeah,
right? So when the students are ready, all of these things will be fixed.
for sure.
That's a good word.
But we got to talk about why the students aren't. What are the circumstances that are not allowing the students to connect
That's interesting, yeah.
and bring home that $2 billion?
Mm-hmm.
We got to try and get some TSU students up here
Yeah.
and have that conversation because I think that is the missing voice in all of the news articles and all of the things that's coming out. Like
single
we're
thing.
not hearing from the students direct.
No.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
and some of them are trying to mobilize. We know that some of them have been trying to figure out what is their position in this and what is the general sentiment on campus,
Yeah.
and it's complex.
Because it's extremely complex,
Yeah.
right?
No, it is.
I don't want to stay in the news segment too long. What I was going to bring up is about Syria and how their current
Ooh, man.
this is a whole other issue because
Yeah.
the Syria news just broke,
Yep.
where the current presidency, dictatorship, however they're framing it,
Yep.
has been overthrown,
Uh-huh.
and what they're referring to as rebel regimes
Yep.
has taken power in Syria.
Yep.
This is the news that I actually want to bring up because this is very new. Even the link that I had in the pre-production notes has been updated from CNN
Oh, wow.
20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So there's new stuff happening. Apparently, Joe Biden just sided with the people that just took power, which is very tricky.
Yep.
Right.
Very tricky.
Yeah.
That's wild. That is wild.
Not entirely sure what that means. So this is breaking news. But what I will say is it's very interesting how the news that we get here in the U.S. is not always exactly how people are feeling it,
That's
wherever
right.
that news is being reported from. And we don't really know
Yeah.
What's
exactly,
actually happening.
quote
So
unquote,
much
who the good guys are and who the bad guys
Propaganda
are.
is woven into what we
Yeah.
receive. Like
Yeah.
it's usually a picture that they want painted that allows corporations, like the corporate class, to be able to do what they want to do. in the
And I'll be
region.
feeling this too. Like by the time we get it, it has come through so many filters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to track what's actually going on.
Yeah, because I'm just curious, because even in the article, before they edited it and updated it, in the article it was talking about Israel having some type of borders with Syria, or not borders, but I forget the language they used. They have a area that they run that's connected to Syria that they said they're shoring up that area. So they're trying to say that, like, yo, the place that Israel is holding down is cool.
like a buffer zone.
Yeah. I think that might be the language
Yeah,
they use.
that's
is
the military
buffer,
language.
The buffer zone
It's a buffer
that
zone.
Israel is in control of
Yep.
has been fortified by Israel. And I was like, why was that a relevant note in this article about them toppling the regime? And what companies are connected to that buffer zone? And, like, what's
But
the
it's
industry?
also folks trying to shore up support for Israel in the midst of them committing a genocide.
100%.
So, yeah.
And
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
the time,
tricky.
and a lot of the times, the way this play out locally is we end up getting the technology that is developed during these points in times. Like literally, we'll start getting surveillance technology, and they'll cite something happening international, whether surveillance technology is being used. And so, oftentimes, I be feeling like when we see these global things, those tech companies that are over there developing their military software also looks at it like, okay, now it's time to expand into the cities immediately.
Domestically.
Right, domestically, that's a great word.
Yeah.
it's
Which is
just-
why we should be really concerned about what the U.S. does in other regions of the world, because that too will be something that they implement here. Like,
Right.
yeah.
And shout out to the Fuses vote in Nashville.
Yes.
They went to no. That
Yeah,
was
by one.
not passed through.
Yeah. Was
Yeah.
it one vote?
Yeah, it was one vote. And I do want to say, because this was something that I learned at that moment. And what we often do as an organization, we spread the information when we learn it. So I thought personally that when the Fuses vote was about to happen, that a simple majority will pass it. But anytime city council is entertaining a single sole source contract, it can be defeated by, it needs 21 votes to win.
Right.
So it can be defeated by a minority vote. So if it's a single source contract, so
What does single source mean?
so if it's a contract that the city has with one company.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
that's what happened. Fuses Inc. was the one company.
What is Fuses?
Fuses is a software that creates a central mainframe and connects multiple cameras to each other through an opt-in.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, if you have 6 businesses, they all have separate cameras.
Security cameras.
They can upload the fuses and tie all the cameras together to one
Gotcha.
network.
Gotcha.
Okay. So what happened was MMPD had already been piloting the Fuses software.
Right.
They wanted to expand the contract with Fuses. City Council voted it down to a 20-19 vote, 19 against. But since it was a sole contract with one company, those 19 votes defeated the Fuses bill.
Oh, I thought it was the other way. I thought it was 20 against and 19
That's what I'm trying to
for.
explain. When it's a sole contract, you need 21-4 to win.
So 20 isn't enough with just 20 what it got.
20 is
Okay.
what it got.
Somebody didn't vote.
Somebody flipped.
Yeah, somebody-
No, but it was only 20 and 19, or somebody abstained.
Well, this is one thing I want to say on
Yeah,
this.
no, 40.
They don't always go to
39.
those
Some people don't always go.
Somebody,
Some
so
city
it
councils don't always go.
no, it was 20 and 19.
2019, no abstentions. So that means one city council member was
Did
not
not
at
go.
the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that happens often. So check on your city council member because they might not be at the city council meetings. Just heads up.
Look, if your city council member ain't at the city council meeting, you need to hit them up. You need to press them out.
No, for real. For real.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That was our longest news segment.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a
We're
lot.
going to push
That
ahead.
really,
Yeah, it's been dense, bro.
yeah.
It's been a lot going on.
It's been a
though.
lot going on.
It's been a lot
been
going
a
on.
lot.
Look,
And we
It's
could
been
talk
a lot.
It
all
was
podcast
way
about
more news. Yeah, go ahead.
It's so much more news.
That. Yeah, no, for real.
But look, our beloved Erica
Yeah.
has been away.
Nah, for real.
She's
the
been
globe,
away.
bro.
Okay, yeah.
She's been
that's
doing a lot of
fair.
traveling.
That's true.
You've been getting on a lot of flights.
I have been.
You've been changing some flights.
Yeah.
I
Getting some
have.
credits.
I changed some flights.
Tell us what's been going on with you.
Worldwide
Okay.
P in the building.
Well, I went to DC, then St. Louis, then Oakland.
Okay, what's
I guess
happening in
the
these
last-
places? You can't just say you
So
went to
one,
DC.
it was around youth justice, which was interesting to think about what folks are trying to do around preventing young people from being prosecuted as adults, addressing what we see going on with young people as far as like some young people who are experiencing harm, how we
Yeah.
prevent it, things like that. And then I think the other places that Yeah, the other place I went to was St. Louis Facing Race, which was good. I heard some folks talk a bit about co-governance, which was really helpful. Conversation around like post-election, how people are feeling. Some of the work that has to be done. One thing that was really, really interesting was SOCM was there. And SOCM, which is an organization in Tennessee that's been around for like decades. But they engaged in a fight last year to prevent school vouchers from passing in Tennessee. And so it was really good to hear them talk about their work and how they really developed a coalition and work with folks.
What's a school voucher?
So basically where you might go to a traditional public school and you can get a voucher to be able to go to a private school. So, you take that money
a voucher from the city.
Yeah, well, a voucher. I think it's a voucher from the state. So the money that would be going towards your traditional public school, you take that money and give it to private school.
Okay.
So that was defeated. And what was really good about it was that like they were able to, recognize that really nobody wants this. Well, not a lot of people want it, especially folks in rural cities because there's no private school there. So it's like actually how would the school voucher program help people in like Paris, Tennessee, and Dover, things like that.
Yes, sir. Dover. Shout out.
So I thought that was really amazing work they did, and they're like we have to fight it again. Coming in this legislative session that'll start in 2025. But that was good. And then I went to Oakland and got to meet up with some people, talk about some alternatives to police work
Oakland,
and things like that. Yeah, Oakland, California, which is really, going to California is hard. That is a 7-hour experience. My back still hurts from there. I'm like,
you had a layover.
Yeah, I had
Where
a
was the
layover.
layover?
Phoenix.
Okay.
And the straight flights are cool. The straight flights are usually, I feel like the last time I went to California, my flight was like 3 hours.
Did you fly into LA? Or where'd you fly into?
I flew into Oakland.
Oh, you flew straight into Oakland. So why was this?
No, I flew Nashville, then Phoenix, then Oakland.
Right.
Yeah, so it was like 7 hours.
Wow.
And I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get on a 5:50 flight and got to California at like 1 o'clock.
So I got a question.
Which for Erica, y'all.
That's
a miracle.
Hard.
That's a miracle.
Look,
for real.
that was hard work.
So how have folks been responding to like our recent wins with the varsity spending plan?
Yeah, I think folks see it as really positive, both in the community and with folks I've been talking to around the country. Like I think it's a significant win for our people, a significant way to think about how really redefining how we think and shape community safety. So yeah.
And has anybody asked you like any like interesting questions about the varsity spending plan like that stick out? Because we just had the executive order passed. We have recently had some significant movement with it. So
yeah, I really hope that people understand that this was a practice in this was democracy and organizing, like the intersection of democracy and organizing. And that, we committed to co-governance, we committed to the democratic process, we committed to organizing, and that's the win we got. And so that really when you practice and engage in participatory democracy, it does work.
Yeah.
And even the journey to that is also how you build power.
Yeah.
Like, outside of the win, how you get to making collective decisions, how you get to organizing families and community members is also how you build power to be able to get that win and sustain the win.
I have a question. So what has been outside of the reaction to the varsity spending plan? What do you think has been across the cities you've been to, the energy of movement? What have people been feeling, talking about? Like, what's the general vibe?
Yeah, it's different based on who you talk to. Like in DC, that wasn't necessarily movement per se, but folks are kind of like, okay, there's about to be a change in administration. How will that impact local budgets and state budgets? Like, I think that's a question that I'm holding, that I heard folks hold when I was in DC. Again, in St. Louis, folks were really, really, quite a few people were really down.
Okay.
But I think that some folks, and ourselves, like us included, are seeing it as an opportunity to really go deeper and engage in our people, that hopefully people, see more of the contradiction. We've been naming the contradiction of like, what has been happening with the systems and society in this country and across the world. And so hopefully people see that contradiction and it creates more opportunity for us to agitate and invite people into organizing. So I think that's been the sentiment, but also like worry, like people are really worried. You know what I mean?
The intersection
Word.
of hope and grief.
Yeah,
Nah,
I mean,
for
and
real.
then that's where we live. Like, actually, that's where we thrive.
No,
the
for real.
intersection of hope
Yeah.
and grief.
And I will say, like, as far as like a personal update, you know, I've really been like, as Erica's been traveling, like, I've really been thinking through, like, it's been a full circle moment for the org. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when you first got to Nashville and you was really like, I don't want to travel. You was like, yo.
Oh yeah, when I got in 2020 after 2020, yeah, I was
like,
over
I'm
it.
being called back home, and so
Yeah.
it's like it's interesting that we've gotten back to a point where, you're back traveling,
Yeah.
and in support of
Out
the
of
org.
necessity. To support
But
the
also
org.
we're in a moment where I think it kind of works. It kind of fits into
Because the org has grown and is stronger. and, like,
absolutely. And then I want to say, like, for me, like this, because since we're in December and we're really in a point of review, like I've really been thinking through like the transformation that I've taken, right?
same
And then
here.
also like because I'm really rapping this year with a lot more tools. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in therapy for quite some time, being able to talk through some of this because since we live at the intersection of grief and hope,
Yeah.
and we have to hold a lot of our people's grief, right, as being community organized and being so in proximity to the problem and the solution that people are unaware
And
of.
holding our own grief is folks who are experiencing these
Exactly.
systems too. Yeah.
So my therapy sessions have really turned into like a way of getting some of that off, but also healing in real time and planning for the future. So like even as I enter into this space in the review space that we're about to go into, like I'm just thinking through like the transformation that's been taking place. You know what I'm saying? Like one really big thing, you know, and I hope I'm not sharing too much is, you know, at one point in time, the explosive nature of the work that we like encounter was really affecting us personally. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Me and
Yeah.
Erica was arguing. You know what I'm saying? We were yelling at each other, like really violating each other's boundaries at some point, right?
No, that's real.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
real.
No, we was really
Okay,
violating somebody.
you
We was
was.
really violating each other's boundaries.
It
You know what I'm
was-
saying?
you was really-
like tussling like a sibling would tussle. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to think about that, like a
Verbally.
verbally,
Verbally,
right? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No,
Verbally.
never went
There were
physical.
no hands.
No
No
swallows.
hands. No hands. All words. That cut really deep. All words. But me and Erica decided, for the sake of our organization, that we needed to go to group therapy together and transform together and transform personally.
real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's interesting that as we went through that transformation, the org has also went through that
Yeah,
transformation,
that's so
right?
true.
We can see that transformation in our young people when we celebrate them and our member leaders and our members. So this has really been a place of like this year has really been a place of transformation for me personally, and being able to like also get through those things without carrying them. And I would not have been able to do that without like professional help. You know what I'm saying?
So okay, since we getting deep today.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Bruh, I've been having a hard time going to therapy.
Yeah.
I got
I
a
feel you.
therapist.
I feel you.
I've been to a couple sessions.
Yeah.
And my schedule is crazy. Our schedule is crazy. It's been hard for me to find time
Yeah.
that I have to give away. Like, I be feeling like this.
Yep.
In order for me to give away time to go to therapy, I'm giving away time to sleep. I'm
feel
giving away like that. It's downtime
I feel you.
Yeah.
that I'm using to go to therapy,
Yeah.
which makes me feel like, okay, I got to clock in again.
I feel like work.
Can I?
It feel like
work.
It feel like work, and I think it is
Yeah.
work, and I think
It
it's
is.
supposed to be work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
necessary work.
But I just be like, bro, I'm tired.
No, I feel
bro.
you.
Like, I'm
No, I
not
feel you.
trying to go like again. In my therapist, my last session, I double booked it on accident. We had something going on. I couldn't go, and then she was like, "Yo," a week ago, she was like, "Yo, just checking to make sure you good. Like your last 2 sessions you've canceled.
Yeah.
Like I gotta charge you for the
Yeah.
first one. I gave you a pass.
Right, this one.
The next one I
no.
gotta charge
That's
you
why I'm canceling. I be like,
because you are paying for it.
Gotta
You
charge
are
you
paying
for that,
it.
dog.
But she like, I got charged, but I want to make sure you cool. She sending me a message. And I'm like, I'm good, been busy, whatever. And I'm like, I'm going to just get through our last few little events.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to start going because I'm going to have a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But it'd be hard for me to like
I feel you though.
prioritize
Yeah.
when I'm like, bro, I would like to just like use this time to just be chilling.
And I will say, and I'm gonna be a little bit more vulnerable. At one point in time in the year, these two people sat me down and was like, "Hey, Jamel, you got to come off that battlefield.
We in the war, baby. We in the war.
Because one thing about me, I am a warrior. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
And that was like, yo, you got to come off that battlefield because we're concerned.
Yeah.
And so when I didn't want to do it, those are the voices that I hear. Because there's no other two people that I respect more than y'all two. So if y'all sit me down and like, yo, we need you to do this, I'm going to try to do it, even if I don't like it.
Look
You
at
know
her,
what I'm
I'm
saying?
cry.
No, because that's real. It's real. We really are each other's business.
And I also want to remind, because I know you said that in we real Black National Assembly in here.
Yeah.
You remember the first video you created for the People's Movement
Oh my
Assemblies?
goodness,
I
yes.
don't.
We're not into no suicide. We want to live.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Now,
true.
who
Yeah,
Amiri
yeah.
Baraka is centering in that
Mm-hmm.
moment is Huey P. Newton's book, Revolutionary Suicide.
Right.
Where Huey P. Newton talks about committing suicide for the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Amiri Baraka, right, who is he had the People's Convention.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying that at the People's Convention. We're not in this for no suicide. We
Yeah.
in this to live.
We want to live.
Yeah.
Right? And so the therapy is a maintenance on living. Right? It's substance.
Yeah.
Because we are being drained.
Yeah.
For real.
Members drain us, and that's fine because we signed up for this.
Yeah.
But so we almost have to use the therapy sessions to pour back into ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you, for me, the first couple 15 were pretty rocky. Once I got to
15 sessions?
Oh, yeah.
15 sessions.
Oh, I was 15 sessions. Yeah.
Before it turned?
I'm
Okay,
being
I
honest.
got to lock in.
Because this is the
in.
thing. Once I got to 15, I was like, oh, I can pretty much curate this.
Yeah,
I can tell her what
you
I want to
figured
do.
it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
you
that's
figured
why
it
when
out.
I was talking about our sessions, I told her, like, I don't really want to be too deep into the emotion shit. If we can balance this out with the
So this
with
what
the
I wanna
council,
say.
let's do that.
Hold to that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. I'm going to try to get mine down to
Yeah.
10.
Come on. Hold it there. So you don't have to go through that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Once
I
I
think-
hit, once I hit-
That helps.
Once I hit that groove, I was like, you know what? I need to make this more enjoyable.
Yeah.
I need to talk about my emotions on the front end.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do the work. I'm gonna write them down. And then I need the coaching on the back.
Because she sent me an assessment with a bunch of questions. I'm like, I don't want to do this. She
But
sent
I
me like
feel
a
you.
test.
I feel
And
you.
I'm like, I don't want to take a test.
I feel like it's an
feel you.
investment and it pays off.
It
Like I
is.
remember at the beginning of the year, for like really a while now, I could not sleep without, like, it was hard for me to sleep.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't sleep because my
Yeah.
mind kept going.
Right.
Because, I was dealing with so much.
Right.
But really investing the time in the therapy and coming up with a practice where it's like I have a practice where I'm like, I meditate, I pray, I journal, I go to therapy, I go to church, has made actually life be more.
Now, we know you go to
You
church.
see, y'all know that.
Somebody gotta praise the Lord.
Somebody, it's gonna be me.
Erica gonna answer that call.
Look, I'm for real. That practice really does help a lot, and I feel like my therapist. She said it, and Jamila and I have the same therapist right now. So it's good because she can see, like, sometimes you go to therapy, you don't tell the whole story. They don't really know you for real.
Yeah.
But then when she like, oh, I see.
Yeah.
And she can actually help me unpack things better because she sees like me in more a broader picture of me.
Yeah.
But I was saying that to say that time in therapy really would benefit, but it is hard. You know what I
is.
mean? And you just got to really lean into it and know that there's a other side to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, for real.
You got
So
this.
that's what we be on.
You
Okay.
got
All right,
this.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to schedule.
You gonna go. I'm
I'ma
hit you up.
schedule it.
because
Hold me accountable. I need
I
help.
will. Trust.
because also the transformation piece to this work is one piece that is hard to grasp. Most folks don't understand that. Like when you're doing community-based work, community organizing, it will put you under conditions where you will have
You
to
are
transform.
forced to transform.
You are
Yeah.
forced to
Yeah.
transform.
Yeah.
And so that therapy helps.
Cultivate that, foster an environment where you can transform in the person you want to be instead of the person that responds to the conditions that we are in.
Because one thing we're going to do is transform in the service of the work.
Yes.
Oh, God. Shout out Mary
True.
Hooks.
Yes.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
This is good. I want to go. I got one more. I'm gonna stay here. For
Come
a
on.
minute.
Okay.
We gonna
Come on.
sit in it. In
Let's sit right there.
Erica,
We
gonna,
here, bro.
In the spirit of Erica Perry.
Yeah, we
We
here.
gonna sit in. Do y'all feel grown? Like I was like thinking
good.
about
That's
this
good.
question.
That's good. That's a
like,
good question.
I don't
That's a good
feel
question.
grown. Right.
Wow.
I feel like I'm gonna be a young nigga for the rest of my life.
Wow,
Right.
okay.
Like, I feel like I don't have like, I'm gonna wake up in the morning and put my khakis on and read the newspaper. Like I
Really?
just don't have that like. I don't have that energy, and I always thought that one day I would get so grown that I'd be like, I'm grown. Like,
Yeah.
Strong, handsome, black.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I just don't. I don't feel that.
That's real.
And I don't know if I ever. I don't think I ever will.
That's real. I think we balance each other out because I'm the complete opposite. I do that exact thing every morning.
Jamel gonna drink black coffee.
Black coffee.
Yeah.
Read the news.
I'm gonna listen to the news. I'm gonna listen to NPR. Right? I'm gonna sit outside with my dog for a second.
Bro,
Yeah.
you know what I do before I go to sleep at night?
What?
I got a wish list on Essence. Most of my clothes, for folks that want fashion tips, every year around this time.
Oh, Lord.
Essence,
He giving it up.
S-E-N-S-E.
He said, I don't gatekeep.
I don't got key. If you want to know anywhere I got any piece of clothing, if I remember where I got it, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
I check the sales.
Yeah.
Before I go to bed every
That
night.
sale crazy.
I check the sales.
That sale crazy.
Because I'm a below retail boy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't
Come
pay
on.
full price.
No,
I don't believe in
gotta-
that.
Gotta have a plug.
And
I don't
not
believe
a
in
lot
that.
of us do.
Yeah.
I don't believe
we
in
don't,
that.
for real.
No,
I don't believe in it.
I
For real,
don't.
We don't.
If it's gonna go on sale, I'm gonna just wait.
Right,
yeah.
wait.
If I actually like it,
Yeah.
then it'll be there when
It
it'll be
will.
there for me when I need it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a message in that. But go ahead.
Somebody gotta praise the Lord.
Shout out Deontay Kyle. Grits and Eggs podcast.
I just want to say, Deontay Kyle. Erica's praising the Lord for
Bro,
you,
we
sir.
love Deontay
Yes,
Kyle
sir.
over here.
Erica
the Get the
praise the
Goods
Lord for you.
podcast love Deontay
Yes,
Kyle.
sir.
Yes.
But I do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't be like, I'm gonna drink me a black coffee and I'm gonna wake up bright and early.
Yeah.
I'm a nigga that's checking the
But
the-
you being intentional about the life you want to cultivate. That's the
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
the thing.
I am
important
doing
piece.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing.
And
So-
you took your car to the shop ahead of time.
That's some
That was
grown.
big.
grown.
That's some
Hey.
grown.
That was grown. Come
Hey,
on.
hey, that's grown.
grown.
That was
No
grown.
problems
That's
with the
some
car.
grown.
Took it to the shop anyway.
Yes, sir.
Come on. That was grown.
That's
That
some
was
grown.
high-level
Winter
grown.
coming up.
Come on.
Winter is coming.
Went to go get it checked on. That's some grown. So for me, I do feel a sense of security in being disciplined. I take pride in that.
Okay.
So like whatever the stereotypical, like this is what you should do every morning, I do that. You know what I'm saying? I also make sure that our young folks, I give them this speech every time. I give our young folks this speech every time. Now, if I see you somewhere you ain't supposed to be, I'm telling.
Yes. Yes.
And if you in the youth assembly and you watching the podcast right now, we telling.
I'm telling.
Look,
Call me your
we ain't
mama.
doing
I'm telling.
nothing wrong with the podcast.
If hold on, if I see you at TSU homecoming at the tailgate and it's past 9 o'clock and I know you're under 18, I'm telling. Right? I'm calling your mama.
I'm calling
If
her.
you're not a friend.
And maybe she cool with you being there. Maybe your uncle got a little tent.
But she gonna know that
Cool.
she gonna know that I kiddo.
Yeah. So don't see me.
Also, again, I had this conversation with the youth assembly too. If I see you out with some dude or some
Oh,
some
yeah, it's
person,
a wrap.
I'm gonna inquire.
Yeah. Oh, we pressing him out
I'm
all
gonna
day.
see.
Oh, you said, okay.
I'm gonna ask questions.
Want to
I'm
know
big-
where your mama stay?
Yeah.
Where your daddy stay?
Yeah.
Where your grandma stay?
I'm big unk. So if you don't want that issue, you're gonna need to hide from me.
Okay.
Right? Because I want you to respect me in that way.
Yeah.
I want you to understand that I'm to be respected.
On God.
Right? And I love that. And that makes me feel like an adult.
And I think I didn't feel like an adult for real until I turned 35.
Nigga,
And
that was a week ago.
Nah, that's when it happened. That's when I was like, yo, we here now.
She said, I'll put the turtleneck on.
Yeah.
I'm grown.
I was like, baby.
Big 3'5" out here.
Oh, you got that from the brunch niggas.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Oh, you
They
thugging.
put me on. They put me. That's when I was like, I was grown. And then the other thing that I realized,
Wait, Erica. No.
what?
I'm not finna let you get that off, bro. 35?
No, literally.
You turned 35, like literally, like.
That's when I felt grown. And
Okay.
I feel that's when I started because
Okay,
listen.
come on. We listening.
Before that, I felt like okay, I was grown, but I was dealing with some stuff.
Okay,
and finally, I caught up with myself.
Okay,
you know,
easy.
because they be
Oh,
like,
that's
you-
real. This year
Yeah,
grew you.
look,
on,
this
Easy.
year grew me.
Come
That
on, Easy.
transformation. Let me say the
Transformation.
breaking. Look,
come
you
on,
know
Easy.
the
Hold on, what
breaking.
Josh? What you say?
It
35
hit
hit.
different.
He said 35
I'm
hit
like,
different.
It hit
Easy.
different. I'm like, I'm here now, and then I'm like, I'm living in the prayers that I prayed like 6, 7, 8 years ago. That's it. That's
Come on.
good.
Oh, excellent.
That's good. That's good right there.
So I'm
good right
saying,
there.
that's when I was like,
couldn't have known that.
It hit me. I couldn't have known
I couldn't have known that.
I couldn't have known that.
I couldn't have known that.
This is too much church kid jokes. All
I couldn't have known that.
right, all right.
But yeah, no. I feel grown. And I couldn't wait to be grown.
So what's the difference in feeling grown and how you used to feel?
I think how I used to feel was like, I mean, to be honest, I just used to feel like that 15-year-old, girl who was trying to like make it, who was trying to, belong, who was hoping that people would see me and choose me, who was like hoping, I always had a new goal in mind. And now I'm like 35, and of course I have goals, but I'm like, yo, we here now, we in it.
No,
Sit
that's
in
real.
it.
That's
It's
real.
good. It's getting good. Like life is getting good. You know what I mean? And so, and it's been good, right? But I think just now I'm just like, I'm me. I'm in my choice.
That's fire.
I'm in my autonomy. I'm choosing what I do. And
Can you
things
give me
like
an
that.
example? If you don't have one, it's okay. But if you have a real world example of like, oh, I feel grown now. Like me taking my car to the shop before.
That was grown.
That was grown.
That was very grown.
That was grown.
What? Did
Can I say one while you think
Yeah,
about
go
it?
ahead.
Put my bills on auto pay. Feels very grown.
Okay.
Bruh, I used to be so scared of auto pay. Auto pay. I used to be like, auto. They'd be like, yo, we give you an 80% discount. You put it on auto pay. No.
No.
I feel very grown.
I
Can't do it. I'm an overdraft.
All my bills.
I'm an overdraft.
I feel very grown because that means I have a budget.
That's real.
I feel very grown.
And that means that the money is there.
That's real.
It's in there.
That's a budget.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a good example. It's really just like how I have designed my life, and that what I have been saying as I was turning 34, like getting out of 35, I was like, this series is a wrap. It's not enough to go into a new season. I was like, I need a whole new series.
It's not enough.
It's not enough. I need a whole new script. And so I think that's a big piece of it, which means that I'm more so in my choice. And I'm like, this I'm designing. I'm in control of how my life looks and plays out. And so I think that's a part of, at least for me, feeling like really, really grown.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, cool.
So,
You got something?
I wanted to go into the game.
That's why I was
Yeah,
finna
let's
take
do
us.
it.
Bet we on the same page. Jamel got a game. We don't know what it is.
Nope.
This new.
Yep.
All right, let's do
Okay.
it.
Okay, so the way this game is worked, this is a riddle game.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say the riddle, and I'm gonna say a quote, and you all have to guess who I'm talking about. Okay.
Okay, got
We're
it.
gonna do a test run.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna do a test run. All right. Are you ready?
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Empowering the South, I stand with my might, organizing movements for black people's rights. In the streets or the courtroom, I hold my ground, building democracy where justice is found. With roots in a family from Paris, Tennessee, there's lessons of strength that run deep within me. For freedom and fairness, my passion combined. Who am I with initials that align? And remember my words. Power is having an idea and making it happen.
Erica Perry.
Oh,
You got it?
that's
Yeah.
good. You wrote that riddle?
You got that? Yes, I wrote the riddle.
Oh,
Thank
That's
you so
a,
much.
that's not a riddle. That's a poem.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is. You wrote that
You got it
poem?
though. You got it.
I
Okay,
got
cool.
it.
All right,
Okay.
here we go.
I'm gonna
All right,
look
let's
at
do it.
your
Let's do it. I
phone.
gotta
All
lock
right,
in.
here
Yeah,
we
you
go.
cheating.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Erica, you can't look.
Okay.
Okay, it's gonna get a little harder now. All right,
Come on.
I'm a trailblazer who turns trap into treasure. A trendsetter in threads. My style is your pleasure. In the twilight and toil, twisting tunes into tales, yearning for greatness, my talent prevails. With a voice that yelps and yawns, yet yields such delight. Who am I? Take a guess, give a try, and remember my words. It's like you don't know you buy a Jeep, and when you buy a Jeep, you start seeing Jeeps. Once
Ooh,
I
I know
finally
this
heard
'cause you talked about
DMX,
it.
once I finally heard DMX music, I started seeing
He
dogs.
just
Young
got
Thug.
jail. Yeah.
The last part was too. She gave it away. Yeah.
My man said,
Why is he dog?
You know what else Young Thug said? Always knew I wasn't gonna be gay.
wasn't gonna be gay.
He always knew.
He always knew.
He always knew.
How do
My
you
man
know?
said I started listening to DMX and started seeing dogs everywhere.
How do you see dogs?
What does that have to do with anything, Young Thug?
It don't matter. Jeffrey said it.
Okay, so y'all got 1-1. All right. My mission was mighty, my legacy a light. In marches for justice, I led the fight. At a moment of mirth in the midst of strife, I called out a man for his capitalist life. Laughter filled the room as my words took their swing. A curious ear heard my jest with a ring. Balancing boldness and kindness, I knew what to say. Who am I? With initials that paved the way. And remember my words. I don't need to hear from you, Andy. I've heard enough. You're a capitalist and I am not. And so we don't see eye to eye. And this is what I mean, and then on other stuff. Who am I?
Andy.
Andy.
You a capitalist, Andy, and I am not. You a capitalist, Andy, and I am
Is
not.
it Kwame Ture?
Ooh, no, sir. We close, though.
Who would be talking to somebody named Andy?
Andy Young. I'll give you an example.
Oh.
He called Andy Young a capitalist in a party hosted by Harry Belafonte. And Harry Belafonte overheard him call Andy a capitalist.
Okay. Who would have been at a party with Hillary Belafonte?
Ooh, this is
It might have been
5 seconds.
I know he's talking about. Did he
4.
host the convention?
No.
No.
Huey Newton.
No. You ready?
Bobby Seale?
Nope. You ready?
Who?
Martin Luther King Jr.
I was gonna say Martin
What?
Luther King.
I was gonna say Martin
Jr.
Luther King, but I
gonna
was
say
like, it's
that
too
too.
obvious.
Yeah, no.
Call Andy Young a capitalist in the middle
All
of a
right, do
party.
you got one
With
more?
Harry Belafonte?
I got one more. Okay? Are you ready?
Okay.
With Jolly, I lead with my grin. A warrior on the field, I fight to win. With a cannon for an arm and wisdom to share, I lead my team with the heartfelt prayers.
Oh, I know you talking about.
Jesting with
Jameis.
teammates,
Jamie.
my joy takes flight.
Jameer.
Yet when it's time,
Start
I
with a
praise
J.
the Lord with might. Okay?
God.
And remember my word.
I know who this is. Jameis.
Hold on. But in times like this, it's an opportunity to
Come
continue
on.
to glorify the
He
Lord,
said that.
even through the toughest circumstances.
He said that.
I know I'm better than this. I know.
How do you
God
say his
deliver
name?
me.
I'm just praying
God
for the Lord to
deliver me.
deliver me from pick sixes.
I know
That's
his
just
name.
not me. A phenomenal game. Offenses did something great, but I just messed up.
It's Jameis Jameek. How you say his name?
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston, all right.
right.
This is just
God
another
deliver
opportunity
me.
to give God the glory.
Please deliver me from pick sixes.
Deliver me from big sixes.
It's
That's
wild.
amazing. That's amazing. Okay, I like
love
this.
it.
I like
That
this.
was good.
Okay, we might have to rotate.
Y'all
We might have to
tired?
rotate every
Yeah.
pod.
Oh, for
tired?
sure. Y'all tired.
I had Young Thug. I just couldn't get his name out.
Nah, look, top 10 greatest rappers of all
Bro
time.
said,
Thugger.
I started listening to DMX and started seeing
Seeing dogs everywhere. It's like when you buy a Jeep. I said, bruh.
It's not.
Okay. Do we got anything else we need to cover before we
Oh.
bounce? Oh, shout out to the
Executive
SMC.
order. Yes.
Yeah.
Front page of the Tennessean.
Yep.
The state paper. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Round of applause.
Yup.
A picture from Erica Perry.
Erica
You
Perry.
know what I'm saying? Shining on there.
Yeah.
Looking good. Shout out to Evan at the Tennessean. Got a great article. We got quotes from our young people about the Varsity Spinning Plan Town Hall, where they talked about the Office of Youth Safety, and
sir.
also had some representatives from the mayor's office. Shout out to Travis. Shout out to Terry Vole. To all the people that came through to the town hall. It was really great. A few other things that happened with the organization since the last pod. We had a turkey drive.
Yep.
Yes.
Gave out
We gave
350.
out over
300.
350 turkeys
Over
to
350.
black folks
Yes,
in
sir.
Nashville, Tennessee.
North Nashville.
Shout out to Nashville Greek Picnic. Shout out to Omega Psi Phi
Yep, they came out.
for coming through with the volunteers
Yes, sir.
and everybody that showed up to participate. We also had a community dinner where we
did.
fed families
So good.
and also honored the work of our youth interns, the youth assembly,
Yep.
And our Black Nashville Assembly
who
members.
made the Varsity Spending Plan happen. Our
Yep.
Black Nashville Assembly members who participated and made the Varsity Spending Plan happen. And we got an executive order. Executive
Yes.
Order 53, signed by Mayor Freddie O'Connell, establishing the Office of Youth Safety, the first of its kind in the nation in Nashville, Tennessee, which is a preventative measure to prevent gun violence
Yes,
with young
sir.
people in the city and build some infrastructure at the metro level.
Separate
to do
from the
so.
criminal justice-
Separate from the criminal justice system. Love that. What else happened since last time? Did I miss any?
That was everything.
Yeah,
We
that's
did a
all.
lot in 2 weeks.
We did a
we
lot.
held the convening, but we talked about the convening in the town hall.
Okay,
And
cool.
now we finna really have wrap up the end of the year with a break. We gonna have a little potluck or dinner with our member leaders
Yep.
on
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Shout out to the members.
Nah, for real.
Nah,
Where
for real.
are your members?
Yeah, so look, man, this is the Get the Goods podcast. Josh in here, Jamila here, Erica in here.
Yes, sir.
We gonna try to keep this podcast going, man, going into 2025. We're gonna try to be a little more consistent. I left the mic stand today. It is what it is. Black
You
people
made
gonna make
a
a
way,
way.
though. You
So
made
I'm
a
holding
way.
the mic. If it sounded a little shaky, forgive me.
Bear
But
with
hopefully
them.
you get this information very clearly. We're gonna try to keep the podcast going on a consistent level. Hit us up at info@oursmc.org if you have questions, if you want us to talk about certain things on the podcast, if you want to join the organization, if you're in the Middle Tennessee or in the Tennessee area, let us know. Hit us up. We're available to talk to you.
Can they follow us on YouTube too?
They can follow us on YouTube at Southern Movement Co. We got a lot of great content. We also have Instagram at Southern Movement Co. at BLK and SH Assembly.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot of
LinkedIn, too.
content.
We on LinkedIn.
We on Erica's on LinkedIn.
Jamel's on LinkedIn.
I heard she's on Hinge. I'm unsure. What I want to say. What I want to say is, when we work together, we win together, and when we win together, we change the world. Peace, y'all. Till next time.